1600 years ago, Augustine wrote, men go out and gaze in astonishment at high mountains, the huge waves of the sea, the broad reaches of rivers, the ocean that encircles the world, or the stars in their courses, but they pay no attention to themselves. We scroll through travel photos, binge space documentaries, obsess over celebrity lives, yet rarely sit with the question of who we actually are. Augustine saw this pattern before Instagram existed. The Confessions isn't dusty theology. It's the first great work of psychological self-examination in Western literature, a brilliant man tearing himself apart over a question we still face. Do I pursue what society rewards or what feels true? Augustine was born in 354 CE in North Africa, part of the late Roman Empire. His father was a pagan government official. His mother, Monica, later declared a saint, was a devout Christian. Augustine himself was marked for success. Rhetoric, the art of persuasion, was his ticket. In Rome, master rhetoricians became lawyers, government advisors, members of the elite. Augustine had the talent, he had the ambition, parties, honors, sexual conquests, the Roman fast track, everything society told him to want. Here's where it gets complicated. Monica, the saint, delayed Augustine's baptism. She wanted him to pursue his career first. Government positions required moral compromise, legal manipulation, political violence, looking the other way. Monica encouraged her son to live a normal, successful life, a life Augustine would later view as sinful. Conversion meant abandoning everything, career, status, pleasures, the approval of everyone who mattered. The tension between worldly success and spiritual truth wasn't abstract for Augustine. It was his mother pushing him one direction, while something else pulled another. At 19, Augustine read Cicero's Hortensius, a book now lost to history. It convinced him the life of the mind mattered more than wealth or power. This launched a 15-year search for truth. He spent 9 years with the Manichees, a religion that explained evil as a cosmic battle between light and darkness, then Platonism, then Christianity. The path wasn't straight. Augustine took wrong turns. The Confessions is the story of that winding search. Augustine's view of desire might surprise you. He doesn't condemn it. He sees love as psychological necessity. In Book 3, he writes, I was in love with the idea of love. This isn't criticism, it's recognition. Humans are emotional beings. We need connection. Augustine never cleanly separated sexual love from spiritual love. Both were real. Both mattered. Friendship was equally central. He's always surrounded by friends, even at his moment of conversion. When an unnamed friend died young, Augustine was shattered. That grief forced him to ask what life actually means. 3 problems drive the Confessions. First, the problem of evil. If God is good and all-powerful, why does evil exist? Second, body versus soul. Are physical desires enemies of spiritual truth or part of being human? Third, sin and redemption. Can someone who has done wrong be genuinely transformed? Augustine argues these aren't separate questions. They're facets of one fundamental problem, the human condition itself. We suffer, we desire, we fail, we want to be better. Augustine addresses these interconnected problems more thoroughly than any other ancient thinker. His answers shaped Western thought for the next millennium. The title itself carries double meaning. Confession, in Latin, confessio, means both admitting wrongdoing and declaring praise. Augustine confesses his sins. He also confesses his faith, acknowledging divine guidance throughout his messy life. Both are acts of truth-telling. This fusion matters. The Confessions isn't just guilt and self-flagellation. It's rigorous self-examination where thinking and feeling are inseparable. Augustine doesn't analyze himself coldly. He investigates his own experience with both intellect and emotion. Augustine's dilemma echoes forward through centuries. Do I pursue what society rewards or what feels true? His own mother, a saint, wanted him to delay spiritual commitment for career success. She wasn't wrong to want good things for her son, but she was asking him to postpone the questions that mattered most. We face the same pressure: delay meaning for achievement, sacrifice authenticity for status, build a resume before building the self. Augustine's question remains ours. What are you actually searching for beneath all the striving? Augustine pioneered a method, rigorous self-examination that doesn't separate head from heart. In this season, navel-gazing, it's philosophical investigation of one's own experience as evidence. What do my desires reveal about what I truly value? What do my failures teach about human nature? What does my longing for something more suggest about reality itself? Augustine treats his own life as data. His questions remain urgently relevant. What is evil? How do I live with my desires? Can I genuinely change? These aren't historical curiosities, they're yours. Augustine wrote the Confessions in his 40s, looking back at decades of searching. He didn't have answers at 20. He spent 9 years following a religion he later rejected. He pursued a career that required moral compromise. He struggled with desires he couldn't resolve through willpower alone. The book is proof that the search itself, the wrong turns, the doubts, the gradual clarity, is the point. Augustine's life wasn't a straight line from confusion to enlightenment. It was a human life, examined honestly. That's what makes it timeless. 16 centuries later, we still gaze at mountains and scroll past oceans while avoiding the harder question. Augustine's Confessions offers no easy answers. It offers something better: permission to take your own inner life seriously, to treat your desires not as enemies but as evidence, to believe that wrong turns aren't wasted if you're paying attention, to trust that the examined life, even when it's messy, even when you don't have it figured out, is worth living. The Confessions began as one man's attempt to understand himself. It became a mirror for anyone willing to look.